question. You'll find I ask a lot of questions in this. What am I? What am I? Ask yourself that. I don't mean, what am I? Although I ask myself that a lot. What are you? Now, some of you may answer, oh, I'm a mom, I'm a dad, I'm a computer programmer, I'm a business person, I'm an artist, I'm a singer. Those are kind of descriptions of what you do. But what are you, really? So, this entire series and spirituality is kind of based on the same concept that our energy is eternal and gets recycled over and over again in human bodies for the purpose of learning, and probably for a purpose larger than what we understand while we're in this human body. Not to get too terribly technical, but let's just talk about this for a moment in terms of God. Yes, I said it, God. Now, for some of you, that's a big trigger word. People who have been involved with Christianity in the past and kind of left it because of hypocrisy or problems, they get triggered by the word God. And that's okay. That's a good thing to note. I use it interchangeably with the light, divine. I've heard people use source, Gaia, light of the universe, Sophia Gaia. I've heard people call it creator. All of these are the same word for the same energy. And that energy is the energy of life. That energy is the energy of unconditional love. It's an actual frequency of unconditional love. God is all loving if you go by the Christian. So that energy of love is inside each one of us. Okay? So you may say, oh, yeah, right. Okay, no, that's like blasphemy. You're saying that you're divine, or you're saying that you are God. No, I'm not saying I am God. I'm saying that that energy of God is what animates me. See, our brains run on electricity, and that electricity uses our nerves to tell our muscles to move. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. Electricity cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change form. And so the energy that animates us is an infinite energy that cannot be destroyed and was never created. It's just constant energy. And there's actually a unified theory that says that all energy is one consciousness that is in all places, seeing all things at all times. So if we look at it that way, if we are seeing this energy and acknowledging the science of energy cannot be created or destroyed, and that what we have is an infinite energy that is connected to all other energy, then that in and of itself should allow us to recognize that there is a piece of that God energy, that God energy of light, divine, Gaia, Fred, call it whatever you want, as long as you're seeking it, doesn't make a difference. That energy within us is the spark of life. That energy within us is our purpose, to integrate that with this human existence as best we can. Because if you are awakened, then that means that there is a purpose for you. You are not a non-playable character. You are now involved in the transformation of this planet. That's why we're awake, is to integrate the unconditional God love and express it through our human, amplify it through the human that we are. But to do that, we have to peel away the layers of the human. We have to peel away the pain and the scars and the trauma that we have been through so that we can unleash that light of God that is within us. When I had my awakening, the image that they showed me was our light bodies. Like if you picture your body outline, but filled with golden sparkling light. And throughout our human life, starting very young, people will say things, you're ugly, splat. Shut up, we don't want to hear you, splat. And these like glops of tar and goo and dark just stick to our light bodies until we are covered and the light is no longer shining out. And we walk around with a closed heart, with a closed mind, protecting ourselves constantly from being hurt by the world. And when we do that, we're missing out. We are missing out on the experience of life. We are missing out on the full range of love that is available to us. And so by cleaning away all of this goop, with a little Windex, with a little love, with a little healing, by peeling off the armor and the self-defense mechanisms that our human lives have created for us, and by saying thank you for that, but by recognizing that we don't have to carry those with us, that we are always safe, we are always protected, and that going through painful experiences is part of our human experience, that is the goal of this journey. That is unleash your light, to peel away all of that armor and to unleash your light, your personal expression of the majesty of the universe through your human filter, through your unique life experience, to love and to be loved, to shift yourself, to be the change. When we change ourselves, we affect everything around us because our frequency changes. It changes the frequency of the room, the frequency of the people around us, the frequency of what comes to us. Everything changes when we begin to focus on that unconditional love within us and on expressing that unconditional love to everyone we meet. Our human form is an amazing amplifier for unconditional love. And that's what this Unleash Your Light journey is all about. Simple things that you can do in your everyday life to unleash that energy of the light within you. So let's talk about some vocabulary, because I use certain words over and over again and they don't mean the same thing to everyone. So let's kind of focus for just a moment on the words that I use. So I refer to that God energy as light, divine, source, Gaia. We just covered all of this in the previous section, and I'm not real picky about what you call it. Feel free to call it Fred. It does not make one bit of difference how you choose to address your personal divinity, your connection with the light, your singularity of the plurality. The other terms that I use a lot, I use unconditional love. Unconditional love is loving someone without conditions. This does not mean you are a doormat. This does not mean you have to approve of everything they do. Unconditional love is that love of God and expressing that to another person, expressing that love of God to another person, no matter who they are, no matter what they have done, recognizing it is literally namaste. I recognize the light in you, or the light in me recognizes the light in you. You are recognizing that that other person also carries an individualized piece of the same energy that you do. That is unconditional love. It doesn't mean that you put up with a bunch of garbage. It doesn't mean that you have to approve of everything. That is something completely different. So when I say unconditional love, I'm not referring to any of that. Forgiveness is the other part of that. Because every person carries a piece of divine within them, I use forgiveness a lot in that space, because for many, that's the only way for them to get to that unconditional love. And empathy is how we express that understanding of unconditional love, that that person in front of you also carries a piece of divine. Those are the main terms that I use quite a bit. And if that term you don't like, change it. I'm not offended. Change it. Make it sound like something that doesn't trigger you or doesn't make you upset or doesn't, get you in that mindset. You can juxtapose any word you'd like over what I am, saying and how I am using them.